This is Adventureland. Adventureland is Disney's jungle, tiki, island, temple, Adventureland. And it is right here. It's right next to Main Street USA. You turn west and come on down to this street. And I put the name in this street because Adventureland is really just one street. It starts up here. You cut left from Main Street USA in the center circle here. And you go through a little archway. This is the central plaza here. And there's a little thatch archway that you walk under here. And Adventureland is just this street here to here. And that's it. And it packs a lot of rides and attractions into that little strip. So first, to get you oriented, if you go through the arch and you turn north, you're headed towards Frontierland, which you can kind of see the back of here. And if you keep going down the street, you end up walking right towards this riverbank here, which is New Orleans Square is if you turn left here, and the other end of Frontierland is if you turn right here. In fact, this whole pink building is part of Frontierland. So Adventureland ends about here. Back to the entrance, right under the arch and right under Frontierland are the bathrooms. So that's the very first attraction of Adventureland. And next up is this chunk of shops here, which is the Adventureland Bazaar. There were other shops next to that, South Sea Traders and Indiana Jones Adventure Outpost, but those have actually been lost to more restaurant space here on this restaurant here, which is Bengal Barbecue. Bengal Barbecue is the one with this pointed top thatched dome thing here. And it's obviously its theme is a tiger, and you can't miss it. You just squeeze past it to get to the end of Adventureland. Another restaurant is over on this side, the Tropical Hideaway. You may know this as Aladdin's Oasis. That's what that area used to be, but now it's the Tropical Hideaway, and that's a kind of little quiet refuge with a few chairs here. And it's nice. It's a nice place. There is one more dining establishment in Adventureland, which is right near the beginning, which is the Tiki Juice Bar. That's the home of world famous Dole Whip. So that's the most famous food item in all of Disneyland. So if you want to experience something that people talk about a lot, then get yourself a Dole Whip. The geography of Adventureland is dominated by this set of rivers, which is Jungle Cruise. The rivers in Jungle Cruise have been there since the very beginning of Disneyland, and they take up a huge amount of area. And you might think, boy, that's a lot of land for just one ride. And it is, although I think Autopia takes up more land, and obviously the monorail takes up more land, but it just kind of flies above land, so it's not as demanding as the Jungle Cruise is. The Jungle Cruise was one of the original rides that was there when Disneyland opened in 1955, and it's supposed to represent a bunch of big exotic rivers like Congo, Nile, Amazon, Mekong, all those rivers right here. So you get on a little boat, which I think they call a tramp steamer, and you go around in a circle, basically, in a boat. When Walt Disney first conceived of Jungle Cruise, he thought of it as an educational trip where you'd go and you'd voyage around and see real animals in their natural habitats and get to explore them just like you were on safari in some exotic land. But when he talked to zoologists and naturalists, they told him, these animals are nocturnal and they are going to hide and sleep during the daytime, and it's not going to be a very great show that you're imagining. So Walt Disney changed the plans and made fake animals instead that he could control. And so that's what we're blessed with here all around. And the show or the ride was educational for about 10 years, and then about middle of the 60s he started making it funny, and he had other producers help him write little gags into the scenes. So that's Jungle Cruise, and it's a long-standing favorite. Up here is the Enchanted Tiki Room. That opened in 1963, and it features animatronic parrots and other creatures, and that is one of the first uses of animatronics, where he had audio animatronics is what Disneyland calls them, because they're synchronized with music. And it was supposed to be like a dinner show where you went and you sat down and you ate and you could watch something happen while you were eating. But it's a theme park, so you want people to come into an attraction and then get out of the attraction, and that didn't really jive with a 1 hour dinner or a 2 hour dinner. So he took away the dinner, and it's just a show, and then you're out and the next group comes in. So that's the Enchanted Tiki Room, the second oldest attraction. And then a little further down, Adventureland. That's Jungle Cruise's name. And the next ride is Adventureland's e-ticket ride, which is Indiana Jones Adventure. I'm going to put the name there because even though the ride is much further south, the entrance is up here on this main street. So Indiana Jones Adventure opened in '95, and it was built for a cost of $100 million, and it's a great ride. It's not exactly a roller coaster, but it's on a track, and you drive through in a ride vehicle with 11 other people, and it's thrilling and it's fun, and it peters you through a show, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, but more aggressively than that ride. My favorite fact about Indiana Jones Adventure is that you walk down this long pathway, and then you go upstairs, and then you go downstairs, and then you go down a ramp, and the ride itself ends up being pretty far away. And that fact is kind of hidden because you seem to go inside and then continue walking downhill. And that downhill walk gets you underneath the railroad tracks and onto the outside of the park where the ride building is. So when you're in a ride vehicle on Indiana Jones, you're out in what used to be the parking lot. It used to be the Eeyore parking lot. So that's that. That's Indiana Jones. An e-ticket ride, it's a great ride. I should mention there's a height restriction on that ride, which is 46 inches. So probably like 5-year-old. I'd also like to talk about the pathway to the Indiana Jones ride. It is the best theming and line experience of any ride at Disneyland, or probably anywhere in the world, because even if you're in that line for 45 minutes, it has great stuff to look at. It has interactive elements to it, and it's really a joy being in that temple before you get on the ride. It's cool. It's really neat. It's the best. The vehicles in Indiana Jones Adventure don't just drive along tracks like almost every other ride. They have wheels that stay on the track, but the car itself tilts back and forth like a lowrider on hydraulics. And using that effect, they can tilt it forward to make it feel like you're braking, or they can tilt the car backwards to make it feel like you're speeding up. And they use that to great effect. They can go sideways to give you the feeling like you're about to fall off or you're turning extra sharply. And it's a lot of fun. It's a unique ride vehicle that isn't used a lot because I think it's not as dependable as a boat on water or a roller coaster on tracks. All right, the final attraction of Adventureland that I'm going to talk about is Tarzan's treehouse here. That is a 70-foot tall tree with stairs that go up it and rooms and platforms that are up high in the tree. And it's cool. You can walk across the little rope bridge and peer out across Adventureland and see how it looks from above. And you can look out towards the river. And it's really nice. It's fun. It's family friendly. Everything here is family friendly except for Indiana Jones Adventures has a height restriction. And that's about it for, I should mention also Tarzan's treehouse started off as the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, which is probably closer theming than Tarzan. But when the movie Tarzan came out in 1999, they re-themed the tree to go along with that movie, and they've kept it ever since. All right, that's Adventureland. It's a really small land in Disneyland, just this one street that leads off in all kinds of different directions to a variety of attractions and shops and restaurants. It's great. It's got great theming, and when you're there, it's a completely different experience from your regular life, and you're traveling to the jungle.